Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of Beyond the Mic. My name is Mike Larkin, and joining me, as always, is my boy, the captain himself, Daz Lea, the man behind Captain's Revenge. Dude, it has been a while, but we are going to be talking about some music, including yours, just in general. And there's no one I'd rather also talk music with because you and I have similar tastes, and also for the fact that we grew up in the 90s and we know what's up, especially with new metal and punk rock and alternative rock and anything that has rock in the title. Dazzy, you've been putting these albums like ICP puts out their albums, like 12 a month, 12 a year, down with the clowns, and I'm down with the revenge. So how does it feel now to have even three now? You have a live rendition of this. How are you feeling about these albums, Dazzy?
They're going well. I think I've slowed down a little bit this year. I did 3 albums last year. I've only done the live album this year, but of course there is a new album coming in a couple months. So yeah, I think I've slowed down a little bit.
It's one of those things too, like it's what I love about this is too, and I've said this to you many times, for those who have not listened to Captain's Revenge and anything that does what Daz Reno does with this virtual style, overall awesomeness, I legit feel like I'm listening back to MTV2, the days of where you had MTV over here, and mind you got everything with TRL, and they had a little bit of rock in there, but it was more focally focused on like boy bands of the pop genre. Then you could go to MTV2, and then you could get Trust Company, and then you could get like any band that has pretty much done a pay-per-view theme song for WWE or TNA on that channel. That's what I feel like. I feel like I'm back in my MTV2 days, and I couldn't have it any other way. And that's what we need: music, a feeling, music, a sense of moments and memories. That's what's missing in today's genre of music.
Yeah, today's music sucks. No offense.
No offense.
But yeah, I mean, that's where a lot of the inspiration comes from. That's where my music taste comes from, is wrestling pay-per-views back in the day. You just mentioned a couple of my favorites: Trust Company, Saliva, Stained, Limp Bizkit. We talked about Limp Bizkit before the show because obviously SummerSlam was plagued by Fred Durst and MGK every 5 minutes, and I grew up on Limp Bizkit. I loved Limp Bizkit since Significant Other. And, you know, it should be nice to hear Fred Durst rapping again in 2026, but not when I'm hearing it every 26 seconds. I mean, and it's the same part of the song, too.
Yep. The thing too is, and I know what you're talking about, for those that saw SummerSlam, if you didn't, it just is very, very annoying to hear that after 10 seconds of MGK Limp Bizkit. And I love him rapping too. Like, I'll say one of my favorite Limp Bizkit songs, since you mentioned Significant Other, and then we get the Chocolate Starfish after that. Like when Limp Bizkit and Method Man did Everybody in Together Now, just shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Like, that is one of my favorite songs. They call me Big John Stud. Yo, what up, Doc? Like, come on, man. Like, that was great. Yeah.
Limp Bizkit did Red Light, Green Light before Squid Game.
Yes, they did. Wasn't Pauly Shore the pizza guy in that, where they start playing like the GameCube with him in the video, and they're just torturing him as the pizza guy? You remember Pauly Shore as the pizza guy?
I don't remember the video. All I remember is just Red Light, Green Light.
Green Light. But that's the thing too, man. It's just like when you think of what they did, and especially now, I could definitely notice it with some of the riffs and some of the beats in your stuff. Some of the stuff, it feels like I'm going back and listening to Nookie. Some of the stuff really feels very Limp Bizkit based, and again, it's most of our taste. But you add your own little flavor and your little spice to it, and that definitely translates even within your music, Desiree.
Yeah, I tried to keep the last two kind of in sync with each other. Obviously, the Hourglass is a theme in both the last two albums, Broken Hourglass and From Zero, and they kind of, it's kind of like a part one and part two. They did come out as a Signs of Time double album. So I did try and keep the genre close, more of a close knit in these last two, whereas before it's been kind of a mixed bag. Especially the second album, I think Distortions was very much experimental. The third album was kind of a recovery period, and then I think since World's End, it's kind of been on track, and it's almost like I kind of found my niche. It's very much rap rock, new metal. There may be one or two slow songs thrown in there, but yeah, they pretty much are that on a straight course for the last two albums.
It's kind of like, and I think you can relay this with me since we both do love us some MTV2 and some SmackDown versus Raw, the old school SVR soundtracks. It's like when Breaking Benjamin had Saturate, and then, We Are Not Alone, and then they did like Crawl and Hopeless and all those songs that really just overall took over and suffocated us with our eargasm, so to speak. It's like how Breaking Benjamin had that period of like straight like fire four albums. This is what you're on. You're having like album after album after album of fire. It's kind of like your
Mm.
Breaking Benjamin period, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that. Or like Saliva went through a couple of years of just banger album after banger album. Between like Every 6 Seconds, Back into Your System, all the way to Bloodstained Love Story. And then I think Josie left after that one.
Yeah,
Yeah. um, I tried to balance out the vocals in the last two as well because uh, Kaylee, the female vocals, didn't come in until the second album, and it was only on two tracks. Um, I think it was still more male dominated on the third and fourth album, so I've tried to keep it a lot more balanced on the last two. Especially with obviously again, there's always going to be inspiration from Linkin Park, so there's a lot of rapping from the male, and then the female comes in with the singing, and then we kind of have JJ pretty much just screaming. Whenever we need a scream, we go to JJ. So
that
that's something that has been introduced since we last did an interview. The band members now have names. Band members. The characters in this project now have names. They all have their places. So we got three vocalists. There's Kaylee, who's the female vocalist, obviously. There's JJ, who's the quote unquote screamer. There's Tommy Brooks as the rapping vocals. Kyle Cross is the lead guitarist. Red is the bass player, and then Joe Harold is on drums.
every piece of this, every member that you mentioned, the characters just have such that just overall flow. And like you mentioned with the vocalization, like I was telling you before we came on this with the Kaylee vocalization, it gives me Evanescence, it gives me Paramore vibes. It just gives me an overall, I'll be honest with you, I could listen to the Punisher soundtrack Broken with Seether and Amy Lee. I could hear the vocal range there. I could listen to any Paramore song, Your Foolish Lies, Nothing Compares to, and I could hear something like that. You take your influence from everything, but I think you finally found a way to make the vocals mix, and that just gives us that flavor of just overall. We mentioned fluidity and flow, but I think the way that the Kaylee vocals come in, it definitely sets apart the 2000s to now and the generations of female vocalists.
Yeah, and the software has become so much wider that you can do so many more different things with it now. It's come such a long way from where we were with Monster, the first album, where it pretty much was a case of you know writing the lyrics and then playing around with the sound, and then extending bits and or cutting bits out. Whereas now, you can literally just go from even a 5 second piece and just build it from that. So, like Relentless, for example, the second track on Broken Hourglass, literally all came from that opening piano piece. Um, and then As Above, So Below, um, that actually started out as a live track that I wrote because I didn't write it as a song initially. It was just these rap verses, and then it was kind of like in a live environment because at the time I was trying to make the live album. Um, so then I wrote those two verses and then turned it into an actual song, and then added in the uh, the part at the end where it kind of switches into Kaylee and more of a alternative piece. So,
I
sometimes I'll start something with an idea and then it'll just turn into a completely different song.
Hey man, I mean that's how we get some of the greatest songs out there. It starts one way and then ends another. I mean, I look at it like this, like you mentioned Saliva, like you and I love Back Into Your System. Like that album has Always on it. It
Yeah.
has one of the classics like Famous Monsters is such like a cool like laid back track that's very nice little bad. Rest in Pieces. Let's not
Yeah.
forget about that one. Like what Saliva did, they even had their nice blend until Josie left, which then it all went to hell. And I hate to say that because I love Saliva, but nothing will ever
They,
beat Josie Scott.
no, I haven't really listened to Saliva since Josie Scott left, but I do like their Michael Jackson cover. I think they did a pretty good job on that. They don't really care about us.
That I
If you're
will
gonna
agree with.
cover Michael Jackson, do it right.
You know who else had a badass cover? I will say this, and it's very much a. It's one that's kind of outside the box, but it's so cool. Like when Korn did "Word Up" by Cameo, I got to tell you, I didn't hate that. Like Korn at "Word Up," like Marilyn Manson doing "Tainted Love" by Soft Cell. Like, come on
Yeah,
now,
that was
man.
good.
It was like a lot of people forget like how good a lot of those covers were. I mean, look at friggin' Bowling for Soup. They did "Baby One More Time" for God's sake. We could take it back to the Pump Goes Pop albums. Did you ever have Pump Goes Pop back in the day, or no?
Yeah, yeah, I do like a bit of punk. Pop goes punk. I did like Bowling for Soup's cover of Britney Spears. Never thought I'd say that in my life. um, a really underrated one, I think, is Seaver's George Michael cover.
Yes, yes.
It doesn't get
So
talked about enough.
no, like they did a great job of it. I think what else I like with See There and Careless Whisper and all those great songs. I think that was around the time when Rise Above This came out and Fake It because we talk about WWE themes and No Way Out. Oh wait,
Mm.
you're such a fucking hypocrite. Yeah. Oh, come on now. But that's the thing too. Like you made it so great there, and I mean, look at another one that really sticks out to me is like even look at when like I mean Tamia did one for Careless Whisper because it reminds me of A Night at the Roxbury and just what is love, baby? Don't hurt me. Like that soundtrack was fire. Like we need more of these. Like your albums, and I'll say this to you with the utmost sincerity respect, my brother. You have that albums that could really add like a great soundtrack to it. Like we need stuff like that. That's the utmost highest compliment because there's bangers after bangers. I mean, if you want to look at the wrestling, like Triple X has such a very underrated soundtrack, the Vin Diesel movie, like
Mm.
Adrenaline, which was great. Gavin Rossdale, Unforgiven '02, Taker and Lesnar. Come on now, man.
Yeah, you know what? Whenever I sort of did like a fantasy federation of wrestling, whenever, whether it was video games or something, I think it was like EAW or something, Extreme Action Wrestling. The weekly show would have been Adrenaline, and that would have been the theme song. That's the theme song I wanted as soon as I heard it. Um, and nobody's heard of Gavin Rossdale. It's crazy.
Bush.
Even though he is he still married to Gwen Stefani?
No, Gwen Stefani.
Oh,
He's with High. She's with High on Blake Shelton.
oh, okay.
Yeah, she went country.
That was his other claim to fame.
Look, I try not, and again, I try not to talk about this, but Gwen Stefani, dude, I think she's converted to the side. If you know what I'm saying, she's not as bad as Dean Kane, but I think she's converted to the side. If you know what I'm saying. Oh boy, but yeah.
Superman can go fuck himself.
Oh, bro, you know what it does for me even now? All right, we're gonna mention this briefly. All right, Dazzy, you want to talk about Superman? Go fuck yourself. Listen, I cannot watch the Iron Giant anymore because he's in that fucking movie. I can't do it. And I like the
Ah,
Iron Giant.
I don't know if we've talked about this actually. I don't like the Iron Giant
What?
adaptation because it's so different from the book.
Okay.
Like I don't know how well they could have adapted a dragon the size of Australia into into an animated film, but it's so different from the book that I just hated it.
Oh, Goth, you stay. I go. Where's the missile, Ramsey? Where's the missile?
I get they made it more for kids, and the book's kind of, even though we read it in school, it's not really a kids book because like you've got uh the Iron Man as he is in the book lying on a bed of fire, and then you got the dragon bathing in the sun and everything. So they definitely took that bit out of the adaptation, and
See,
because it was
that
so different, I don't like it.
well, you guys got to read the cool books. Like my my freshman year of high school, we read Speak, which was the movie that also came out with Kirsten Stewart, where the girl gets raped. at the party and she doesn't talk about it. We read To Kill a Mockingbird. We read a lot of, yeah, we've read a lot of books. And you know what's funny about that? I'm sure a lot of these books, I don't know how it is with you guys in the UK, but I'm sure a lot of these books are banned now because of because of the way everything is now. Like I'm sure a lot
Um,
of these books are banned. Go ahead.
I'm pretty sure they still do of Mice and Men.
How can you not, man? I like to tame the rabbits, Lenny and George. Come on
Yeah.
now, come on.
I do like it To Kill a Mockingbird.
Have you now the movie adaptation of the book?
I haven't read the book, but I do like the film.
Gregory Peck
Gregory
played great.
Peck.
Yes, Gregory Atticus Finch. I will tell you what I also do like. Now, I want to get into some of these songs here, Dazarino, because I will say this. We did mention a lot of great songs from both albums. This one I want to mention because I got to tell you, when I look at the atmosphere and I kind of have that visualization of where I am in time and the memories that these songs can really generate, I was listening to Paint the Town with Black Hearts, great song. I got to tell you, with the beat and the very punk style to it, I feel like I'm going to the skate park, man, and I'm hanging out with the boys. And I don't even know how to skate. I'd fall on my ass, Nazareno.
Me
But I
too.
literally, but I legit felt like I was going to the skate park. I was going to the garage to play with the boys, and we were just having like a house party. I love the friggin' vibes, and I love the overall beat and how everything comes in together on that. We don't give a fuck where freaks come out at night. Fuck everything because we don't care. I love it, man. I felt the teen angst in my soul.
Yeah, I literally wrote that song. It was either the night of or the day after going to an emo gig. It was literally just a one night sort of celebration of all things emo. Um they did Paramore, they did Bowling for Soup, they did Linkin Park, they did Green Day, they did fucking My Chemical Romance. Um and it just reminds you of that time and that generation, hearing all that music and seeing everybody in the same sort of get up. So I just wanted to write a song about being emo, basically. Because I
Um,
never did the whole. I did dye my hair at one point, but I never did the whole, you know, makeup and
Painting the
nails and
fingernails black,
yeah.
yeah.
I didn't go that far. I was kind of like an inner emo. But I fucking loved the music, so I wanted to write a song that kind of embodied all of that. Um, and I was just thinking, how does it feel to be an emo? And those are the lyrics that came out. And yeah, it does have that Paramore feel, I guess, which is why Kaylee takes the lead on it.
It's also kind of like you mentioned, like, all right, now it's funny because My Chemical Romance does get a lot of shit. But I will say this when I first saw Helena as like a 12-year old when that song came out, and just seeing the girl doing the dance and just going right back into the coffin, oh, it does have that symbolism to it. And of course, Black Parade. But I mean, it's one of the things that I've always said about that time period. You can even include Panic at the Disco in that. I write Sins, Not Tragedies. Like, think of like that era. Who was the other one that had like the one hit? Oh God, Hello Goodbye. Friggin' believe in your you are the one that lies close to me. Here in your arms, and they're at the freaking campgrounds, and he's putting the gum in their mouth, oh, they're kissing. Oh my God, take me back to those times. Friggin' early '05. Jeez.
There is actually a couple of references to some famous emo songs in that song, in the lyrics. There's I Walk Alone on Boulevards, obviously, is a reference to Green Day.
Yep.
Um, there's Misery's in there as a reference to Paramore's Misery Business, which I think was the catalyst. That song was a catalyst for everybody to turn emo because everybody saw Hayley Williams and went, "Yep,
Yep. You know what it also kind of reminds you of? I don't know if you've heard this Blink 182 song. It was in their later years. They had that song called We Stay Up All Night, and they're like, doing, yeah, you
yeah."
know what I'm talking about. Okay. When they're at the house garage and friggin', there was this episode of Video on Trial, which was on Much Music in Canada, and they were making fun of it. It's like, these guys are in their 40s and they're talking about teen angst. I'm like, shut up, it's Blink 182. Like, how can you go wrong with Blink 182? I know it's supposed to be satire and it's supposed to be funny, but it's Blink 182. Like, how do you can't go wrong with Blink 182 no matter what age you are. It's Blink 182.
Linkin Park are in their almost 50s and they're still singing about teen angst.
Yes. All right, look at it like this. He'll make fun of me now since we mentioned boy bands before. Look at the Backstreet Boys. They have their own Vegas residency, and the Backstreet Boys are literally almost 50, still singing I Want It That Way a mere 27 years later. Be quiet, people.
I blame Brooklyn Nine-Nine for making it popular again
Tell me why.
because every time I hear the song, when it gets to the third, tell me why. I can't not go now. Number five.
Now number five.
It's part of those are the official lyrics now. I'm sorry, Brooklyn Nine-Nine changed it.
Oh, yeah. Here's the thing too. You know who's worse now? I don't know if you saw these on Instagram, folks. 98 Degrees is literally taking requests. And I'm sorry, I don't need to see Nick Lachey and the rest of the boys singing Thong Song by Cisco. No. Bro, these dudes are
No,
in their like 40s and 50s, and I'm like, no, you are not singing Cisco. You're killing a classic. I'd rather watch Will Ferrell in that new Netflix The Hawk singing it. That was freaking hilarious. And his kid now is singing too. Like, oh my God. Like, Angus Farrell is not bad, dude. Have you checked out his new song?
no. But speaking of his kids singing now, what aged me a couple months ago was seeing a
Okay.
clip of Jacoby Shaddix from Papa Roach, and he had his son on stage fucking screaming with him. Like, I was that kid's age when I started listening to Papa Roach.
Dude, my back hurts now that you said that. Literally, my back
Yeah.
hurts. Oh God, when Last Resort came out off the Infest album, that I was 8, and I'm just like
I was
screaming my
10.
okay, well, I was losing my side and I'm screaming and I'm just doing this and then the friggin' and he's cold in his hand. Oh God, it was great. Like again, we need more of that.
Yeah, 10 years old singing "Don't Give a Fuck If I Cut."
If I
Oh,
cut my
sorry,
arm,
what?
oh what? Did you remember when I think this was probably during COVID, they like kind of did like a version of it with like a TikToker and it wasn't bad, but I'm like, you can't
Mm,
beat the original. You
yeah,
can't.
it was too TikToky for me. I don't know if that's a phrase, but it was too TikToky.
TikTok. I'm using it now. That's great. It
A-
was too TikTok.
Anybody who feels the same way will know exactly what that means when you hear it.
Yeah. Like again, I get what they were trying to do, and I get they're trying to be like up to the year and up to today's day and age. But bro, y'all, Jacoby, y'all don't need to do that. Like
No,
you and I grew up on "To Be Loved" and the Raw theme and "Getting Away with Murder," which out of all people, you remember whose theme song that was?
no, no.
Daniel Pewter.
Oh, that's why I don't remember.
Sorry, Daniel Pewter, and I interviewed you, but god damn it, man, Daniel Pewter coming out to "Getting Away with Murder" because it was the theme song of the $1 Million Tough Enough, and he
And
had that.
funnily, he thought
Yeah.
he was getting away with murder, and he ran into Hardcore Holly.
Oh god, those I can still hear those chops with him, Benoit and Guerrero at the Royal Rumble '05. Oh God Almighty,
Imagine how
yeah,
happy Hardcore Holly of all people was to get the green light to go beat somebody up.
really? Like it, I kind of, I could go beat somebody up, okay, and he did, chopping
and
him. Oh
and not get yelled at for it.
Oh God, I still remember. Do you remember when he faced Sylvain Grenier when he was doing the model "The World Is Sylvan"
Yeah.
and he gave him a black eye? Oh God, don't fuck with Hardcore Holly people.
No. Uh, Underrated. A
Very
little bit
much.
of a bully, but underrated.
Yes. Oh God, and God rest his soul, Matt Capitelli. That kid could have been so huge. Oh,
Hmm.
damn it. But yeah, speaking of, we're not going to go from sadness. We're going to go to more happiness because a lot of these songs that I also put, "Rising Like a Phoenix" definitely means something as well, besides our very own Phoenix and your Shankin cousin over there, for those who've not seen Max Wrestling. I have
Well,
to
it
mention,
was written for him for his entrance music.
I loved it.
Um, and he was getting salty that he didn't have his own song, so I gave him his entrance theme. And obviously there's a orchestral version of it as well. Um, and then I think the live version of it is kind of a mix between the original and the orchestral version. But of course, the original has the male vocals, and I did the same with Paint the Town with Black Arts. The original has male vocals, but then I kind of look at it and go, I wonder what it would sound like with Kaylee doing it. And then, of course, she just, like you said, her vocal range just blows it out the water.
You have stuff like that, and first of all, shout out to you, Craig, with your badass theme song. But yeah, no, I think your cousin definitely lives it up to with his entrance now, with what he does on Max. And I mean, what's so cool about it too, Daz Reno, and I even got to put this over. Like when I'm listening to songs like Phoenix, and especially the orchestral version, it's like when we mentioned Michael Jackson earlier. Like I was flipping the tube the other day, man, and I saw that "This Is It," like the movie about the
Mm.
concert, the making of the concert. If
Yeah.
you guys have never heard the song "This Is It," the orchestral version, that violin that comes in, and then the word about you, the vocal range is spectacular on that. It's later Michael Jackson, but damn it, if God rest his soul, if he was alive, that tour would have been fantastic.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I think the film has proved the power that his music still has.
Now, have you seen Michael yet? The new movie.
Only 4 times.
I got to tell you, the father, the guy who plays Joseph Jackson, actually did the role justice. I will say, Nia Long was great as Katherine Jackson. Oh, you
Yeah.
guys have got to see it. Now, debate time. Was it better than the Jacksons and American Dream, the miniseries from back in the day with Lawrence Hilton Jacobs and that role back in the 90s?
Oh yeah.
It definitely ranks because I think both of them gave a great adaptation of Michael Jackson. And of course, I think if I remember correctly, doesn't it just go up to like Thriller and like the 80s? It doesn't go into the 90s
Uh,
stuff.
it ends on bad. So it performs bad, and then it ends, which is where I guess the sequel is going to pick up and explore obviously the more controversial parts of his life. But what I was really surprised, obviously, I've been a fan of Michael Jackson most of my life. But what I was really surprised with when I watched the film was how seriously accurate the story was. Like you look at Bohemian Rhapsody, an amazing film as well, but they did kind of take liberties with history a little bit. And then Rocket Man was just like a fever dream. Um, but Michael was so accurate in things that you think they must have made that up for the film, but no, it actually happened. Like going into MTV and like, I'm gonna pull all my music if you don't play Billie Jean. Like, oh, what? That actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Obviously the story behind the Beat It video, getting the two gangs together, that really happened. Because I saw like somebody post on Facebook, Instagram, whatever it was, and being like, how crazy this film is to have Michael Jackson bring these two gangs together, uh, two rival gangs together just to make a music video. I'm like, yeah, but it actually happened that way.
You got power and you have the artistry and the mind for it when you can have the Bloods and the Crips be in your video and settle their differences in that form of fashion, so to speak.
These
You
guys are
have
killing each
power.
other on the streets. Yeah, but we're gonna dance.
We're gonna dance. Guys, come
Okay.
on, guys. Just beat it.
Hey, whatever Michael wants.
Yes. I mean,
But
if like good.
um, his manager, oh shit, wasn't him? John Branca.
Yeah.
When he got that phone call, I want you to bring these two gangs together. You want me to do what?
If you've
Okay.
not if you've not seen the movie, the actor doesn't do it justice. It was just like, what? Okay. I'll bring the Crips and the Bloods and the Crips. It's all right. I immediately thought of you just for the little subtleties. So Dazzy and I are big fans of the Lost Boys. And I shit you not, turned on the scene. And what scene was it? No shirt with the saxophone. The dude was just jamming. All he said, play the sax, jam. And it was that part. And I instantly thought you would get a kick out of that because it's so underrated. And he just plays
Yeah.
the sax, and it's fucking awesome.
He was like, I've got 3 minutes of screen time. I am gonna make the absolute
Absolute
most of it.
most of this.
Give me 3 bottles of baby oil,
And I'm ready.
and I'll do the rest.
Oh, another great soundtrack. And I will say another thing that I thought was really cool from this album, and we're gonna go through all these albums because guys, Broken Hourglass and Zero Hour are fantastic. But I have to put this down because as long as I've been doing Max Wrestling and as long as I've known you for the 10 years that you and I have known each other, Daz Reno, our Max Wrestling theme songs have just changed. Like, it's funny in our Max Wrestling history that I've done on the channel, like 2018, 2019, like we had, I'll take it to the edge as a
Yeah,
theme.
Godsmack.
Yes, there was that one theme that we had like for like a week where it was like, tear down these walls. Something's gotta give right now. I can't remember who sings that, but that's another great song. What was the other one that we had? And we set it alight like a wildfire. Like that
Oh
was
yeah,
another.
Palmist.
Thomas, thank you.
Um, yeah, you can find them on YouTube, but I don't think they've done much.
And what was the one that we had? But back to from the dead tonight. But
That's
back.
Skillet.
Yes, Skillet, the great Skillet. That's right. Oh, but
Obviously,
yeah,
the problem with having these
theme songs,
theme songs is that you get YouTube
copyright.
going, this song's copyrighted. So the fact that we had theme songs for Max is the whole reason Captain's Revenge exists in the first place, because I had to create some music that we didn't get yelled at for by YouTube because it's copyrighted. Okay, okay, I'll do my own music. So we came up with fuck, what was it called? The song for, I think it was 2023, 22, something like that.
Oh, it all started all bad. The WWE. I will remember it. I will remember it. I remember that one. Yeah, that one sticks out. I can't remember the name of it, but I just remember I will remember. It all
Yeah,
started on the block, TikTok, and all that good stuff. Yeah, I remember.
I, me-
I
I
remember.
remember. I remember wanting to have a song that sounded like the original "Raw is War" theme, because that was the vibe we were going with on this in the reboot at the time on Max. So I wanted a song that kind of embodied the Attitude Era. Um, so I came up with Rise. That was the theme song for a little bit, and then I just thought, well, in that case, why don't I try and actually make some more music? And that's when it all started. Monster was made, and it just got the ball rolling. So, yeah, to have, I think there's two songs actually on the last two albums that were theme songs, because I did the reloaded version of every single Scar, which is still one of my favorite themes that we've had and that we've used. Um, but we had it for a while, and I wanted to give it a little bit more of an edge, which is why I did the reloaded version.
It's one of those things too, even to add on to your point. Like, I love Burn It Down with gasoline and static. Like, I love that, and I love everything that you put into Bloodline sticks on my head. And my
Yeah.
bloodline. Like, do you really, and I will say this, I think what makes this brand so special, I can honestly say out of the, and I found out the statistic, there's like 50,000 wrestling podcasts. Shout out to my boy Evan Ginsberg for that. He actually pointed that out to me. Like,
Wow.
out of 50,000 wrestling podcasts, I think you're probably the only one, and I'm sure there's more, but I'm going to be biased and say Dazarino over here is probably the only one right now with his own original music and that has that flavor and feel to it. So, yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
And yeah, not just original music as the weekly theme song. The event songs are all
Yep.
usually Captain's Revenge songs too. Except for Beer, he started getting into music a little bit now as well with Metal Forge. Got to give a shout out to Beer. He's had two theme songs in the last couple of months for the show. So yeah, go check out Metal Forge as well. He's still working out the logistics of getting onto Spotify and YouTube and everything like I do, but he's getting there.
I have listened to a lot of what Beer's been doing, and shout out to JB over there, Johnny Beer, Johnny Bebs, if you will. But let me tell you something about Beer. Was that one of the things where he kind of like saw what you were doing, and he's like, "I want to do this"? I think he's an avid music lover, like the three of us are.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. I think he saw what I was doing and wanted to give it a try. And yeah, he's come up with a few bangers.
Like, if you guys have not checked out, I will say this: the links will be in the description for everything down below in the description. But I also think what's so cool and so keen about this too, I think one that a lot of people don't remember, and again, if you go back in the history of Max Wrestling, since we did talk about a lot of the copyrighted songs and a lot of the cool ones, I have to put this one this one over because I cannot believe, if you really think about that, I only think we had it for like a few weeks. We had the human radio is playing your anthem.
Shine
Like,
down.
I know it was such a good song. It was such a good song. Oh
Yeah.
God, what was the other one that we had? Oh, my happy place during the shift. That
Oh
happened
yeah,
very
yeah.
quickly. Yes,
That. Oh, who were they called? Oh man,
that's
that's
gonna
gonna
bug me
bug
because
me.
it was a good song. It was a great song.
I
Oh,
think it was the Revolution or something like that.
that sounds vaguely familiar. Yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
loved that. I loved having Shine Down as the theme song for the show, and I wish we could have kept it a lot longer. Shine Down is One of my favorite bands. Can't wait to actually see them in November. Got to go up to Scotland and Glasgow to see them in the Hydro. But yeah, finally get to see Shinedown. I got to see Linkin Park again last year at Wembley. That was amazing. I don't know who else I want to see next, actually. Maybe some other people that we've had as theme songs.
Probably. Well, first and foremost, shout out to Glasgow and the Hydro in Scotland. Now, are you going to go see Mark Dallas and some ICW, aren't you?
I'm not going to be up there long enough. I don't even know if they're doing shows around that time, but when you mention ICW, all I think of is when Drew McIntyre Galloway returned and just commentary went off their nuts.
That, and I think the other thing I also remember is Triple H when he came out. Triple H, get out here! And him and Pete Dunne were in the ring. That one. RVD when he came out and everybody freaked out. Like, for those who've never seen Insane Championship Wrestling and who's not seen ICW, definitely worth the watch. I mean, they have the ICW at the garage, the Hydro. Oof.
It's Scottish ECW.
That is a great comparison. I like that. I like that a lot. And also, there's another historic reason why ICW is so popular in the history of Max Wrestling. Daz Lea.
I'll run the fucking show.
Besides that.
Oh, what was the other one?
I like to think that I got him the job.
Massimo Italiano. Massimo Italiano.
Never did a goddamn thing after.
Who did I interview on my 18th episode? Fucking no. I actually think I got him a job in ICW.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
It's like that scene in Billy Madison. That Veronica Vaughn is one hot piece of ace. And I know a guy, he and her got it on. No, they didn't. But could you imagine if they did?
It's like Hulk Hogan. I taught Michael Jackson how to moonwalk, brother. No, you didn't.
No. Wasn't he supposed to be the bassist for Metallica? God. Look, Hulk Hogan is no longer with us, but his lies will remain forever. Oh God. But yeah, I think the one where he told Bret Hart, like, yeah, brother, I'm going to do the honors for you after WrestleMania 9. No, the fuck you aren't. No, the fuck you're not. Stop it. Oh, you got me, brother. And if you look back, and I don't blame The Undertaker for being mad about that. Like, his head didn't even hit the chair on the tombstone. Like, you bastard.
So it shouldn't really have come as a surprise that Hulk Hogan kind of became a massive advocate for Donald Trump because they're both full of shit.
As I'm going to take a sip of my water. Dude, yeah. Okay, can we take him? We said it last time. Can we take him out of Home Alone 2, please?
Mm-hmm.
Please? Dude, I got to say, my heart broke. Friggin' the pigeon lady.
Oh, the pigeon lady, yeah.
What the hell? Where are all the good ones going, man? Like, that whole movie, pretty much the only ones alive right now are what? Macaulay Culkin and Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci?
Yeah, because we lost Catherine O'Hara, too.
Yeah. I guess everybody just, oh, God. And you also did a nice tribute this week for Dory Funk Jr. That's another one, but he lived a long life, and him and Terry are now tag teaming in heaven. Yeah. Oh.
Opening my eyes to a world I don't recognize, knowing that the lines are already blurred out of sight. On the edge of the abyss, looking back on what I missed, knowing everything I said wasn't good enough for this. This was never meant to be this way. Nothing's ever gonna be the same. Fell apart, so relentless, so relentless. Don't know how we got this way, but I'm never gonna be the same. Feeling so
say this about the albums and a lot of the great music here. One of the ones I do have to also take into account, I did listen to the live album, and I was telling you this before we got on. Like, and I'll say this to everybody before these shows or the night before, I always have the music registered in my brain. So when I talk to this one over here, I have the sounds of music and not those kind of sounds of music, Julie Andrews style. Live with the sound of music. Not Julie Andrews style, but the sound of music. And I have to tell you, listening to Live with the Vengeance, it brings me a feel of, like we mentioned MTV2 earlier in the show, but it reminds me of like I'm going to the Warped Tour or like Woodstock 99, but minus the fire and the mosh pitting in the mud being thrown. But it just has such a good feel. And I remember, I'll take it back for you. Remember Trivium, if you will? One of my favorite live performances, they did their song Ascendancy. It reminds me of, how the fuck are we doing tonight? Raise your fucking horns in the air. And then they go right into Ascendancy. That's the vibes that I got, like being at those type of concerts. The live stuff really came well and very sync together, guys.
Yeah, I did a lot of work on the live album. I think possibly longer than any of the regular albums, because it's surprisingly hard to get it right when you're converting a song into a live version, because you either run the risk of it not sounding live or sounding too live. So there's a lot of speaking before and after the songs, which mainly comes from some of my favorite live albums. So I'll name 4. There's Linkin Park Live in Texas, legendary show. There's Linkin Park Road to Revolution from Milton Keynes. There's Shinedown. They did a back-to-back live album for I think it was a Sound of Madness they were promoting. But they did, like, the first night was like regular Shinedown, rocking your socks off, and the second night they stripped it back and it was all acoustic, and it was pretty much the same set, but it was different versions of it. And then there's Paramore, The Final Riot, which is another great live album. So those 4 recommendations for you. And I played around a lot with the set list too, to figure out which songs sound better before and after others and how they kind of flow into each other. And again, there's also the balancing of the male and female vocals. So you don't want to give too much of a gap before you hear Kaylee again, because like there's male vocals in most of the songs. She's got a few more solo songs now, but on that live album, there's also songs with both vocals that you didn't really hear before, like Break of the Day came from the first and second albums before Kaylee was really a thing. So to add her vocals into it was a really nice experiment as well.
I think the transition of like, ladies and gentlemen, Kaylee, and then we get into that. I almost did the friggin' new guy thing. Ladies and gentlemen, Creed will not be here tonight. No, but when they when they introduce Kaylee, and definitely she adds such an empowering vocal, like we mentioned. But everybody in this album, like I'll be honest right now, a song called Magpies, I never thought thinking of like Magpies in that way, but dude, that one really like got me right here. Like Magpies is just such a powerful riff. It has such a great thing. I got to give you kudos on the Magpies thing, man.
Yeah, that's definitely a favorite, and that one is literally just about not giving up. And Magpies wasn't the original title. The original title was Chains Unbound, which is part of the lyrics. But then Magpies are mentioned in the bridge, and I just had that visual of Magpies ever since, so I changed the name of it. And I'm also kind of superstitious towards Magpies. I'm not really a superstitious person, but when it comes to Magpies, if it's a single one, I'll salute it. That kind of thing. If it's free, I'm like, free for a girl, whatever. So there's a pair of magpies that live outside, and they torment the fuck out of one pigeon almost every day.
The symbolism there, just tormenting pigeons.
They do. They're little, it's kind of fun watching them, but they're little shits.
You know what it is too, and I'll even say this. It reminds me of, and God rest her soul. I love my grandmother dearly. But when I was living in East on Long Island in East Islip, we used to have like a group of raccoons that would come around, and I'm like, look. I know you love to get the bread in there, but my grandmother was getting older, and I'm like, look, I know you love feeding them bread and all that, but let either my mom do it or I do it because my grandmother was getting older, and I'm like, you don't need to get bit by the raccoons. And they were nice raccoons, don't get me wrong, but it's like we got the stampede of raccoons over here because we keep feeding them bread. Like we got the raccoons over here, the raccoons. Like you know what I'm saying? But hey, it's one with animals, one with nature, but also at the same times too. They're stubborn sons of bitches. They can be. You know what? They are. They are. They got a little attitude to them. Ugh. But
I've
that's the
never heard
beauty
of
of it.
anybody feeding raccoons before.
Yo, I gotta tell you something. They love them some bread. I think. All right, I'll tell you one of the funny stories about this. So we used to hit this old Chinese food spot, and Dazzy can attest to because when it
How's your
comes to
Chinese food?
worms, you're eating worms, Michael. Jesus. So, all right, I'm gonna try not to laugh as I tell this story. So, on Long Island, one of the popular spots where I lived, that was a very much a Chinese food that was close. It was called the Tasty House, and every time that they would answer the phone, it'd be Tasty House, and we would go to the Tasty House, which was right near the Happy Dragon. I'm not making this up. We literally had a Happy Dragon, a Tasty House of Chinese food. So we used to go to Tasty House, and every time we would have leftovers and the raccoons would come by, we would feed them some rice. Yes, the raccoons would eat rice. The raccoons ate the Chinese food. Again, friendly raccoons, but don't let them in the house. So we used to feed raccoons bread and Chinese food.
Was it like the Chinese place from Seinfeld where you go in, be about 5 minutes, you wait 5 minutes. How long till the table? Be about 10 minutes. But you said 5 minutes 20 minutes ago. Okay, 15 minutes.
That's actually a great comparison. Yes, I'll be straight. No, dude, I'll be straight up because it's like it would be like for like waiting or like that'd be like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and I'm like, wait, you just said 20. All right, but that place was packed. I will say that. In its defense, it was a very poppin' Chinese place, but yeah, that was kind of like that Tasty House. Now where I am in Myrtle Beach, we have China King, and it doesn't have the same ring to it, but China King is also very good.
That guy from Seinfeld that also was in Wayne's World. Wayne's World 2, playing Cassandra's dad.
Yes, that's right.
I can never remember his name, but he's in everything.
Friggin' Wayne's World 2, classic. Just think of now with the dude from the Village People dying. I just think of that scene where they're doing the YMCA and Macho
Well,
Man.
you remind when you were talking about Woodstock, you reminded me of Wayne Stock, and I just pictured Garth coming out on stage. Welcome to Aurora. Eat me. Not
Yes,
just a place, but a state of mind.
the state of mind. Well, the reason why Woodstock comes up is because God rest his soul, DMX. Everybody talks about Rough Riders anthem, and you see everybody just like throwing everybody in mosh pitting for the Rough Riders anthem. Like, do you remember seeing Woodstock '99 like live? I know like TRL did a cover of it. Do you remember like seeing Woodstock '99 live?
No, but I do remember hearing what a disaster it was.
Oh God! Well, '94 was the mud, 90 mud fighting, and Carson '99 had the same thing. Carson Daly got hit with the freaking mud. They threw mud at Carson Daly, and then yeah, that was the one with the fire. Oh, it was a disaster, but it was a hell of an event. Oh, and I think that was the same year since we mentioned ICP and joking about your albums. Remember when ICP went on freaking Howard Stern and them and Sharon Osbourne had like a tiff live on air because ICP threw Cold Chamber off their tour. And Sharon Osbourne was like, my husband does more than you on a lifetime, makes more money than you. You're nothing but one hit wonders. I bet you $50,000 that your next album will sell 12,000 copies. It was a brutal fight, man.
Yeah, don't mess with Sharon Osbourne.
No, she was just like, I'm going to confront these motherfuckers. By the way, do you remember any Cold Chamber song at all? I just know they existed.
No.
Same. And I hate to say that, but Cold Chamber was a group, but they existed. I can't remember any of them. I still remember, oh God, who was on TRL back in the day? Remember Orgy, the group Orgy? The band, the rock band? No? No? Okay. All right, this is my early introduction to TRL. So, TRL, Literally, there was a rock band called Orgy, and they played one of their songs on the countdown. And mind you, I'm like 8 years old. They get, oh, the rock band Orgy. And then once you get like older and you realize, oh, I see why they named the band Orgy. And this was when like Incubus had what was the big one that they had? Not besides Pardon Me, the other one. How do you do it? Make me feel like I do. Stellar. Remember Stellar?
I remember Stellar. Yeah.
Remember Drive?
No.
Whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there with open arms, open
That actually
eyes.
sounds familiar.
Oh, well, I'm bringing it back for everybody, and I will say this: to go back and listen to you some Incubus. I think another one I do have to bring up with one of the ones that I really enjoyed on this album. So, looking at 0 Hour, and again, just listening back to these songs, dude, I gotta tell you, I loved Everybody Down, and I'll tell you why. Just because I love the riff and I love just the overall intensity into it. But I think you'll like this reference. Think of SmackDown versus Raw '08. Same title, non-point, everybody down, everybody down. That's what I felt by the intensity of this track, dude.
I actually forgot about that.
I want every single person right now on the ground.
Literally, that song was just one giant metaphor for talking shit. Like, it's not about gun violence or shooting anybody. It's literally an entire metaphor for using words as weapons. And it's very much become, well, I mean, it was actually a theme song for Full House, one of the Max events we did a couple months ago. Because it fits into what we do on Max as promos. You know, everybody down, I'm about to spit some fire.
Very, very true. I've always said this about our promos and everything that we do. It's like verbal sparring and just
Yeah.
verbal assassination. Like, that's actually a great way to even put it. Like, even in the song, like, instead of using your fists, I think a lot of people need to understand. It's like we hear the old saying, like, Brock Lesnar just had the talk shit, get hit t-shirt that's sold. But it's like you need sometimes your words to have that verbal sparring. It's like snaps. But the only difference is we're not doing the yo mama jokes.
Yeah. No, yeah, like whole point in the chorus is I got a gun for a mouth and a bullet for a tongue. Bang bang.
And the bang bang. Thank you, Mick Foley. What do they say? I have to add to that, like the way that they said it, that the way that it's verbally expressed and then leads to the buildup of the song. It reminds me of thinking like Rage Against the Machine, killing in the name of, and they won't do what they told you. They won't do what they told you. Like just the way that build goes is just fire, man.
Yeah, and speaking of Rage Against the Machine, they were the original theme for Max Wrestling Guerrilla Radio back in the day.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Oh,
that was the original Max theme.
Wow, yeah. Well, that's a classic too, Rage Against the Machine. My earliest memory, do you remember the dude? Who was the dude? It was I think of the drummer or whatever, who climbed the 2000 VMA set and he just sat up there. And then Fred Durst, in his unbeknownst wisdom, looks up there and he goes, dude, jump. It's like, no, don't jump. Literally, if you guys have never seen it, the dude from Rage Against the Machine literally went on top of whatever structure it was. The only reason I remember this is because this is the same VMAs that China ripped her pants when she was doing that thing with Richard Hatch from Survivor. The dude's literally up there, and Fred Durst is accepting the award for Limp Bizkit and Chocolate Starfish. And then he looks up at the guys and he goes, dude, jump! And I'm like, no, don't jump. And then the crew got him off the set. But yes, really an Easter egg. Go and look back at that Rage Against the Machine guy just up there, just like, just being Rage Against the Machine.
I do love Rage Against the Machine. I was always annoyed. I mean, I love Cole's personality, but I was always annoyed, especially during his heel run, that CM Punk didn't use the Voice of the Voiceless, because he literally called himself the Voice of the Voiceless.
Voice of the Voiceless.
And it had a great chorus that you could have walked down the ramp to, so I always thought it would have fit his heel persona, but either never used it or it was too expensive. But I feel like Rage Against the Machine is Punk's type of music.
Agreed. You know what's funny about it too? I was on Twitter the other day and I retweeted it. Some son of a gun, and I forgot your Twitter name, and I'm sorry, but some son of a gun posted the whole entire SmackDown versus Raw 2007 soundtrack with the friggin' menu in the background, and I'm like, you son of a gun, because
Wow.
3 Days Grace, Riot, Animal I've Become. God, what was another one? I got money in the bank. Shout it what you think. I got money in the bank. And then I'm the champ, and like that whole Lonely Train by Blackstone Cherry, like that whole soundtrack was fire.
Animal I Become. I
Yes.
never listened to it. I like it, but I never listened to it. But somehow it keeps randomly entering my head.
Somebody get me through this nightmare. I can't
I'm
control
like, why?
myself.
I like this song, but why is it in my head? I haven't listened to it in years.
Probably because those guys on Instagram made fun of the butt rock thing, and the one guy on that podcast does it so beautifully. They called it the butt rock thing era when they had the guys singing like that and whatever. Look at like Fuel when you had Hemorrhage and my hands are and everybody sounded like this.
Yeah, it was just a 2000s vibe.
It was, you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing too. I remember when they brought back TRL for like the newer generation, and I'm like, bro, like it's cool, but it's not going to work because you have Spotify and all these different music outlets. But this generation, and we said no offense, but your music sucks. But the fact of the matter is now they don't want to see countdown shows when they have everything at their fingertips. That's the truth. I'm sorry. But like you and I used to get stoked for countdown shows. And I'm sure anybody who did, but nowadays nobody wants to watch countdown shows.
No. The art of the pre-show is dead.
Yes, the art of the pre-show is absolutely dead. Oh man. But I will say this about it, and looking at these 3 albums, man, from 0 Hour to Broken Hourglass and Live with the Vengeance, I think not only does it sync and have the great story arc from the previous albums, and we were shooting the breeze a lot about the songs and the message behind it. Do you think, like, as you continue on with your albums and your vibes, like the story not only is going to get bigger, Desirino, but number 2, you have great titles, you have great symbolism. I think the only way to keep going is up, man, because you've really found your groove within these albums.
Yeah, and I feel like I've kind of mellowed out and matured with them. So like the third album, Clarity, was written at a difficult time, and it feels like the whole album feels like lashing out. And it probably was to a degree, but it's become more about the art of music now. And I do have a chip on my shoulder saying that because obviously I'm not the one playing the instruments or anything. But it is about creating something that just sounds good now. And yeah, they still have some messages behind them. Some of them have multiple messages behind them. Some of them are very ambiguous, and you can take whatever you want from it.
Far away, and the crows wheeled high where the false prophet lay. He smiled like a serpent with lies on his tongue. Now the rats have the last of the songs that he sung. So open your windows and open your doors. The traitor is slain while we stamp on the floor. I'll raise ye a toast, let them all hear us roar. We'll dance through the night, the traitor sings no more.
I think it's a case of, and knowing you during the times when you written that album, I think a lot of us have, all right, I'll equate it to wrestling. Look at our boy Lance Hoyt, Vance Archer at the time, now Lance Archer, everybody dies. So the thing that was so cool about him is during his ECW run, he had the disaster pieces. So I think you were kind of creating like a beautiful disaster of chaos through your overall emotions. But as you matured, like you mentioned, we all kind of like mellow out and chill out, and you're doing it and you love what you're doing. Like, for God's sake, man, you have a song on there called The Devil in Me, which a lot of people can really reflect with. You know what I'm saying? There's that balance between good and evil. Like, sometimes you just got to let that out, man.
Yeah. I think The Devil in Me is probably one of the heaviest songs I've done in terms of vocals. And, you know, you do kind of hear female vocalists scream in today's music. But in like mainstream music, you don't hear it very often. until like Linkin Park brought in Emily, and she damn sure does her share of screaming. So I wanted at least one song on that album to have those harsh female screams. And the Devil in Me is definitely that. But like that and The Invisible Hand that comes before it are two just like old school heavy metal songs. And The Invisible Hand was actually written as kind of a tribute to Ozzy. I wrote that one, I think, shortly after he passed away. May have been a couple weeks. Yeah, because it was... No, it wasn't, actually. It was before, because as I was writing it, it kind of evolved more... It started off as like a tribute to Ozzy and Black Sabbath and that kind of sound, and it kind of fleshed out a little bit more modern. And as I was listening back to it, I thought, it's almost like it transitions from Ozzy to Youngblood, who has become sort of the heir apparent to Ozzy Osbourne, especially after that incredible performance at Ozzy's show in Birmingham. But it kind of goes from that vibe of Black Sabbath style to, like I said, Youngblood, who's kind of bringing rock back, old school rock. And I just found it cool how it kind of transitions between those two styles almost seamlessly.
That's the beauty of music in a way too. And I mean, like you mentioned with like the screaming vocals of the female, look at when Evanescence did Going Under and you felt the pain in that, or even Bring Me to Life, early Evanescence. I mean, you even look at just the pain, and like when Breaking Benjamin, like we mentioned earlier, when they did that song The Dark of You, and they're talking about save this selfish world, you feel the pain, you feel everything that everybody's going through. And I think those songs, great tributes as a whole. But man, I say this all the time, but that's such the beauty of the art of music, is just relating to people and resonating, generating with. And I think that's what your synchronicity, if you will, there's a friggin' word for you, that's synthetic and synchronicity. Somebody get out the dictionary. It's one of the things too that really blends together. And I honestly can say this, I, as a friend and as someone who is a music lover, I honestly can't wait, Daz Lea, to see what your next new albums do. And go out of your way to check out 0 Hour and Breaking the Hourglass, and check it out Live with a Vengeance. It's an hour for and plus for Live with a Vengeance, but the 21 tracks are worth it, and everything definitely brings it together, man. I can't wait for the next one.
Well, obviously the new single is out Friday, Fade to Grey. And the next album is very different, actually, because I wanted, well, I don't know if it was an accident or if I deliberately went out my way to do it, but it just kind of happened. It kind of switches styles a little bit. So the next album has more of a grunge feel to it. And the first track I wrote for that album is the first track on the album, which is called Too Late to Break. And I didn't initially write that as a grungy type of song. It was more like in line with 0 Hour and Broken Hourglass. But as I was writing it, it kind of became grittier. So much so that it reminded me of Chester Bennington's band before Linkin Park, which is Grey Days. And just for some reason that just resonated, and I started writing more songs in that style. And that's where Fade to Grey came from. It kind of has a double meaning. So it's like fading from the style that you know from Captain's Revenge into this kind of different style that kind of resembles Grey Days, Nirvana, those type of bands, Pearl Jam. And it also has the other meaning of fading into kind of a limbo. So you're not quite in the light, but you haven't quite gone to the dark. You're somewhere in between. It's that grey area. So grey is obviously a very heavy theme on the next album. So Fade to Grey is the title track. It's the first single from the album. It's out this Friday. And then I'll probably release 1 or 2 more singles before the album drops on October 2nd. And I deliberately chose that date because I wanted it to be I wanted to leave enough gap between Live with a Vengeance and the next album, and not quite at the end of the year because I actually have the next album already lined up as well. I didn't want to get into that habit that I did with last year where I released two albums kind of back to back. So I'm trying to space it out a little bit. Um, and I was just thinking September, October, what would be funny? And then for some reason, I just thought of the Mean Girls meme, you know, when he asked today's date, it's October 3rd. So I was looking for a Friday around that time, and I was hoping it was going to fall on October 3rd, but it's October 2nd. So that's kind of the end joke around it.
This one with the Mean Girls reference. I like your style. I like it.
Yes, I know my pop culture.
I know you do, but yeah, that is a classic. That classic, and that movie's 22 years old now, and it still
Oh,
holds up. Classic.
damn.
Well, look at you friggin' talking about your Linkin Park. Like, dude, we were talking about our backs hurt. Like, what has it been, like 27 years now since Hybrid Theory?
Yeah, 2000,
2000?
coming up
Yeah, 26. 26 coming on
26, coming
27.
on 27. Yeah. Oh.
I know. I know. It was just like it was yesterday. One step closer to the end, and I'm about to break.
I think actually next year will be the 20th anniversary of their third album, Minutes to Midnight, which was a big shift for Linkin Park because they had that new metal vibe in the first two albums, and then they brought out Minutes to Midnight, and it was kind of different. There was still some rock in there, but then they introduced some softer songs, and it really took people by surprise. And I think that album divided the fan base for the first time. Sorry, excuse me, for the first time. Before that, everybody was kind of like on the same wavelength, like, yeah, Linkin Park fucking rocks. But then Minutes to Midnight came out, and they're like, some people were like, I don't know if I like this. This is a little softer than we're used to from this band. Whereas me personally, I've loved everything they've ever done, from their hardest stuff to their softest stuff. But that's where I think that was the turning point for them, where they started experimenting with different sounds and different genres. But to me, I think they've always represented mainstream because when they first came out 26 years ago, new metal was mainstream. It was Limp Bizkit, it was fucking Papa Roach. Um, and then they kind of switched into more alternative rock, which was the mainstream in the late 2000s. And then by the time we got to One More Light, which was a little bit pop rock, that was mainstream. So they've always changed their sound, I think, depending on what people listen to, which is kind of weird that less people were listening to them as they went on. But I mean, look at them now; they're more popular than ever, and I love to see the revival.
Same. And like you mentioned, the girl who's in the group now, again, I think we mentioned last show, but very apprehensive because I'm like, how can you fill the shoes of Chester Bennington? And she does a great job. Like, for real, for real. Like, she's really good.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would, my thing too, as well, is like, even like you mentioned Shinedown before, like, again, wrestling related, like, I love the theme for No Mercy 05. Someone save me if you will and
yeah.
take away all these pills. And then they used I Dare You for WrestleMania 22. I dare you to tell me to walk through fire. Where Rey Mysterio
Uh,
winning the championship. Yes.
I remember WWE magazine. Yeah, that's aging me a little bit.
Yeah.
They did an interview with Brent, the singer of Shinedown, and I always remember one of the questions was, "What is the title of your song that WWE uses for ECW?" And they gave him a couple of options, and his answer, which they printed, was, "I don't really know. I just know they like to use our music." So he's not really the wrestling fan in the group, but the WWE have used a lot of Shinedown. I think the bass player is actually the big WWE fan in the group. But yeah, Brent's just like, yeah, cool. They like our music, use it.
Kind of, well, the Raw theme. We want more. We want more. Yeah, that one
Yeah, they
was a
used that for
classic.
a while.
That was a good one. We got the world on his knees. We want
And
more. We want more.
now I never thought I'd say it, but I'm sick of Eminem.
Yeah. And what's the one that's on SmackDown? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell that one is.
Yeah, but they used Godzilla for Raw, and originally I was like, "Hey, cool! They're using Eminem for Raw. That's different."
Yeah.
And it doesn't really fit for
No.
me.
And I like Eminem like you, but no. No. Doesn't
Give
fit.
me some rock, man.
Dude, I'm the same way. All right, we're gonna mention this. We'll age ourselves again. But I've been at SummerSlam '07 when they had "Look at Me Cat Go Here, the Wayne Up in the Wayne Up," or even the one before that. What was the one that they used the friggin' the kangaroos or whatever the fuck? My style is the bomb de dang de
Dang, de
dang
dang,
diggy
diggy,
diggy.
diggy.
Can we do it on the way with that bomb de dang diggy? And mind you, that that theme song also, we had Godsmack with the enemy. Hey, oh, Mr. Backstabbing son of a bitch. Like, that one was great, but I'm like, the kangaroos or whoever the fuck my style is
The one with the kangaroo song. The kangaroo song.
kangaroo song. All right.
I just remembered the commercial with DX and the barbecue.
And that was the one where Batista, so they had to put a, that's the one where Batista and Booker T got into the fight, and they had to put the photo of Batista in because Batista had the black eye because he got fucked up by Booker T. Oh, the mid 2000s. Oh god, you know what one really pissed me off? SummerSlam 2015. Not just because of Jon Stewart interfering during Seth and John Cena. Look, I got no beef with Demi Lovato, but when you're trying to see John Cena and Seth Rollins have this blood feud, like this man literally broke John Cena's nose off to the side, and then you're hearing in the background, "We're cool for the summer. Take your body tight." Like what? They did the same thing with Randy Orton and Cena. They got me kept going hand away.
You know what? I didn't actually mind Jon Stewart interfering because obviously that was a time when we were all against John Cena winning all the time and we wanted to see him get screwed.
Yeah.
So I was okay with it. My only problem was the reasoning behind it. He came out on Raw and he was like, I cost John Cena the match because I didn't want Ric Flair to lose his record. I'm like, really?
What?
That's your reasoning?
And then he FU John Stewart, AA. Yeah, I remember.
But then those of us in the know are like, well, that's not even his real record anyway. So
yeah,
you wasted your time.
You wasted your time, John. You wasted your time. Oh boy. Well, I will say this: what's not a waste of time is always talking to you, Desirino. This has been another edition, and I said it at the beginning. I realized I said beyond the mic, beyond the music. You see, sometimes we don't even know what the hell show we're doing. It's a little behind the scenes here. We were giggling before we did.
What is this? Screen Gems?
Oh, God rest his soul. God rest his soul, David the Butcher Gillum. Yes, Screen Gems. Well, what were you guys? It was Screen Gems, Infinity Gems. Which was first?
Yeah.
Was it Screen Gems or Infinity Gems?
I think it was Screen Gems.
Then it became Infinity Gems.
And then we did one show during COVID about movies, and I can't remember what it was called, but I think that was Gems as well.
Yeah, we'd have to go back and look at the archive, but those are some classic ones. Shout out to, and rest in peace to David Gillen. But what was the, we were giggling before this because it's like, should you talk first or should I talk first? So I'm like, well, I'm the one who knows this.
I'm going to put that on the ending. And also, once the show is over, I'm going to give you an exclusive first look at the music video for the new single, Fade to Grey. So I'm going to attach that to the end of at the end of this show.
And if you want to check out, because we're going to be collaborate and listen, to quote Vanilla Ice, Robbie Van Winkle, check it out on the SM Network shows and the Max Wrestling YouTube, or are you putting on Captain's Revenge?
Probably both.
Okay. So go out of your way and check out the YouTubes. And Dazarino, since, this is all of us here, promote what you got going on with the next special All for One and what we can expect coming forward with Max.
Before I do that, I just remember we were talking about magpies. I forgot to point out I actually have magpies.
Magpie! There it is!
So, yeah, Max is doing great. We just hit 600 episodes a couple weeks ago. And it was an awesome couple of weeks with the 600th episode, great promo bash, promo slam. Everybody brought it. You and Chris went at each other with just bare knives, and I fucking loved it. So the next Max event is All for One. That comes up at the end of the month, which, of course, we'll have predictions for AEW's All In, which is back in Wembley. I have a promo bout this week on Max against Chris, actually, which I'm looking forward to. I think it's our 5th match against each other. Number 5. Yeah, so All for One is coming up at the end of the month. Promo Climax is also kicking off the end of the month. And if you are unfamiliar with Max, Promo Climax is like our G1. We've only done it 3 times. It was meant to be an annual thing, but we kept having problems with it. We didn't do it for a number of years, and then we brought it back last year, and it was very successful. So we're rolling with it again. Promo Climax 4 kicks off at Off One. Actually, the first 2 matches will be on that show, and it's a round robin tournament. There's 2 groups. Everybody in those groups faces each other once to earn points, and then the winners of both groups face each other. This time it's for a shot at the Max World Championship at Promo Mania, which is our biggest event of the year, obviously coming up in April to coincide with WrestleMania, but we don't know the exact date yet because WWE haven't announced the exact date for WrestleMania, which is in Saudi. All we know is it's April. And it baffles me because they always announce the dates like a year or 2 in advance, but all we have is it's April 2027. Yeah, when?
Yeah, when?
I need to book the time off, dude.
You do realize it's going to be a hard one for me to watch because of where it's located.
Yes.
You had the opportunity. It was right here to go to the UK. It was right here.
Everybody was so pissed.
It was like, right here in your hands.
WrestleMania's always been in the US or Canada. It's never been anywhere else. And then for years, even they've been teasing, hey, maybe we should bring it to London. Or, hey, London, how much do you want WrestleMania? Yay, everybody goes nuts. And I get why they do that, because they're trying to convince the powers that be in London to bid for WrestleMania, because that's how it works. They don't pay to host WrestleMania. They get you, the hosts, to pay to host WrestleMania. And London's probably never going to bid enough for it. So, but you would think the first WrestleMania outside of the US or Canada would be London.
No.
But no, we're going to fucking Saudi because they can outbid everybody.
Listen, we have said this many of times. We don't hate the people of Saudi Arabia. We hate your government, number 1. And number 2, I think we still call it, what do we still call it? Blood money? We still call it blood money, yes.
I've started watching them now, though. I used to boycott the Saudi shows.
Yes, we used to boycott them a lot, but it's just like, it's not what it was. They've gotten a lot better since Triple H.
Yeah, they've gotten better, and they used to just be token shows in Saudi where they didn't really mean anything, but now they're literally integrated as part of the main storyline, so you kind of have to watch it to know what's going on.
Come on, Daz Lea, not the classics like Shane McMahon versus Dolph Ziggler and Rusev and The Undertaker in a casket match. Or fucking, oh God, what was the other one? Friggin' the DX against the Brothers of Destruction. Come on, Daz Lea. Undertaker Goldberg, where Undertaker was dying.
No, we don't talk about that.
No.
Or Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement.
He was bald, and no.
Shawn, you should have left it alone.
He even said after that, we're getting too old for this
shit. Instant regrets.
But yeah, they used to look like that. Now they don't. Thank God. Mansoor, I used to want to smack Mansoor so goddamn bad. If I had to hear, it feels so good to be back in Riyadh one more time. This man's beating Cesaro and Elias. And I'm like, if this was America, this would be a squash match. I'm sorry, Mansoor, but God almighty, it just made no fucking sense. I get why they did it, because he's hometown boy, and they're trying to bring change, but I'm like, if this was America, this would be like 5 minutes. Boy.
So, in terms of socials, Max Wrestling is on YouTube.com/Max Wrestling. We're on social media at Max Wrestling UK. And then, of course, with Captain's Revenge, the social media handle is Caps Revenge Rock. And it's available everywhere you can get music: Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music, Google Play. You can even buy the albums and the singles on iTunes. I didn't price them. I just submitted the music and they do the pricing. But I think it's like 79 pence per single. I think the albums are like $6 or $7.99. $6 or $7.99.
It means nothing.
I can't help it.
It means nothing. Why is this a thing?
I don't know. I used to hate it because it didn't mean anything, but now I can't not hear it. Whenever it's 6 or 7, or in even the closest of vicinities, it just comes in your head. 6, 7.
Yo, my cousin Elena was over here. She's 11, and she did it to me, and I was like, no. But I laughed. And because the kid is cute, I laughed. And then we watched Boss Baby. Shout out to Elena. Go ahead.
But adults are laughing about it now, too. So, like, when I'm in work the other week, I scanned somebody's tickets.
Yeah.
And it was 2 guys, and they were, like, in their 20s. Scanned the tickets, and I was like, okay, you're in M6 and 7. And I didn't put any emphasis on it. I just said 6 and 7.
Oh, God.
And they walk away, and from behind, I can hear one of them giggling. And then the other one, I just hear him go, why do you think I booked those seats?
God almighty. Were they going to see Spider-Man?
It was Spider-Man, yeah.
Oh, boy.
But I hope Captain's Revenge is getting out there a little bit more now, because, again, somebody actually Shazammed. There's a little bit of Captain's Revenge on the playlist. I kind of snuck it in, pretending it's from a movie. It's not. If anybody asks, like, Light in the Dark is from Sinners, and Bloodline is from Final Destination Bloodlines. But that's the song that was playing, and somebody actually Shazammed it. So hopefully we're spreading.
I think it will, man. All the links will be in the description below this for Beyond the Music. Also, check out S&M Network shows. Much like they're growing, we had just hit 1,722 subscribers there. So thank y'all very much. Subscribe to both brands. There's a lot of great shows coming from On the Mic with Mike, Deep Into the Heart of Wrestling, RWT Pod, Steve and Mike Show. Steve has been on a kick. So what we're going to do is not only talk about MySpace coming back, we're going to be watching... Yeah, what? MySpace? We're also going to talk about Miami Vice because it's our jam. So we're going to go through every episode and every season of Miami Vice. There's a lot to stay tuned for. So go out of your way and subscribe to S&M Network Show. Subscribe to Max Wrestling. Daz Lea, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for, as always, doing this. And we'll be back in the next edition of Beyond the Music. Thank y'all for listening.
Here comes the outtake and the music video. All right, 3, 2, 1.
I'm used to you doing the intro. I totally forgot that I'm the host of this. I was thinking like we were doing that. Oh, boy.
I'm used to doing the intro, so when I say 1 and then I don't say anything, I'm like, wait, should I be speaking?
Wait, this is me on this one. Okay, hold on.
Ghosts everywhere I go, but they can never choke me out. I hold the rope, I can't let go. There's no soul left to weigh me down. My blood still boils when it's cold, even when I'm 6 feet underground. It's just another day. Watch me fade to gray. I feel like I'm watching my life from the outside. Just a host from coast to coast, but I don't know a way out. I'm on a boat that never floats, but I wake before I drown. I can't stop digging for gold, even when I wear the crown. It's just another day. Watch me fade to gray. I feel like I'm watching my life from the outside. problem in my head.